All right. Hi, everybody. Ken Madden with Ciro, one of the designers here, and I'm here today to talk to you guys about DRYFORCE Luggage and the rest of our luggage line. So with that, let me get started. If people have questions, let's just say this. I've got Kelsey off to the side here. She is going to be answering any questions you guys might have, so just type them in the comments, and she'll throw them at me as they come out, and I'll get that taken care of for you. First, we're going to talk a little bit about what is DRYFORCE, and that is our waterproof luggage line. Um, Most of the DRYFORCE products are made out of it's a urethane. It's a custom 840D TPU, which was custom made for us with our coloring, and I will show you a little bit more about that in a moment, about the colors, the bright green that we do for the insides of the bag so you can see. So this is a real tough, rugged, waterproof line of luggage for motorcycles. It's designed for motorcycles and designed to mount to motorcycles, but because of that, it's also great on a lot of other different sports. So if you have an ATV, UTV, side-by-sides, boating, cars, anything, hot rods, any of that kind of stuff, it's great. If you need some waterproof, really heavy-duty luggage that's easy to strap down, the DRYFORCE line has the answer for you on all of those. So I guess to get started, I think we're going to start right here. This is the quick release cooler, and this is designed to fit on a Harley Davidson rack, and it's the main rack that they've used for many, many years. In fact, the Harley Davidson part number, if you want to look it up, it is 53655-87. That -87 means it was originally made in 1987. So this fits to a lot of racks. The beauty of it here is you can see what we've got going on here on the side picture is it mounts right down to the rack. It clips on the bottom. I'll show you the little bottom pieces there, and it has these little fingers that they'll open and close, and you just simply slide it on, clicks onto the rack. It also has a safety that you can put on and cinch down if you want to just do it that way as well. So this is a nice solid mounted thing that's just quick, easy on, quick, easy off. It's great. So you can put quite a bit in here. So let me open it up and show you what I was talking about earlier with the green. This is what we're talking about. So this particular one's a cooler, of course, and it's waterproof zippers, waterproof all the way around. The zippers as well are YKK zippers, which is the best ones we could find. We put big T handles on these, so it's easy to open and close. Another feature of these is it comes with, I'll show you right here, this is a little lift kit. So you can put this underneath your rack, and it helps to clean underneath the rack. So it lifts your rack up about a little bit less than about a half an inch or so. And it allows you to get under there and clean with a rag or whatnot if you have this on there. And it's a fantastic cooler. It holds, yeah, we say when we loaded it up with as much as we could, we put 64 cans in it. We don't recommend putting 64 cans on your rack that's designed to hold for 14 pounds on the back of your bike or something, but it does hold that much. So it also doubles, it's a great waterproof bag. So if you just want a waterproof bag that occasionally you want to use it as a cooler, this is a fantastic way of doing that. These retail at $249.99, so it's a real reasonable price. It's hard molded top, hard molded bottom. It's got legs on it, so when you take it off the bike and put it down on the ground or whatever you're going to do, you're not going to ruin the bottom of the bag and then scrape up your bike when you go to put it back on or anything like that. What a lot of people use it for, myself included, is if I'm going on a trip, I actually will use this to pack clothes and things in, or put a helmet in there or whatever. And then when I get to where I'm going, actually, I use it as a cooler. So now I can take and stick it in the canoe. You can load it with ice and drinks and go like that. And then when it's done, I dump it out, wipe it out. You just want to have a nice dry bag to go back home with, put all your stuff in. There's your answer right there. It's also nice because, like I said, it's just an easy open like that, nice wide opening, so you can get in and out of it quite easily. So this is, again, our quick release bag. So it's a really interesting way of quickly putting a lot on and off your bike. So as these with always, you always want to watch your weight limits and stuff because you are mounting it high on the back of a motorcycle. So we recommend, obviously don't put 64 cans in and then put it on the top of the back of your bike, but it's a great way of doing it. So let me show you some of the other features. It's got a zipper in front here. so you can place little small items in here like a phone or whatnot. And this is a water resistant zipper. It's pretty much water resistant, so you're not going to get a bunch of water in there. It's not 100% waterproof like the other ones are. But as we turn around here, you also have a bungee, adjustable bungees here, so you can wrap up a jacket, your hat, gloves, whatever. You can put some stuff in there if it's a small jacket anyway. Really heavy duty mounts to mount this down too. So if you want to mount it down to something else, like the front rack of a ATV or something like that, we've got plenty of ability to do that as well. So this is that. Next up, I'm going to show you kind of its little brother. So we did this one. We wanted to do one that was a little bit more of a lower price point for you. So let me show you that one. So this is our case. So this is basically, it's the same outer structure, just without the cooler inside. So it actually has a little bit more room inside because it doesn't have all that insulation. And it is a felt line. This is more of your traditional motorcycle luggage that you see. But again, it still snaps onto the rack just like the other one does. And these run $219.99. And it comes with, it's a little bit different manufactured, with different zippers on it. And this isn't a 100% waterproof zipper like the other one. So it does come with a cover. Very easily goes on there. And then you can strap that down to itself, and that'll stay on there nice and tight. It's got special latches right here for it, so that'll stay on. And then it just goes back inside. Again, this is a great place to put if you do have weather like we're about to have here. So if you guys hear thunder, we got a storm coming in. So I'm going to mention that right now. But that'll hold it, and this is just a nice economical way to have quite a bit of luggage. You got beautiful big handles on both sides that allow you to pick it up and use it. And again, all the same features as the other bag. It just doesn't have the cooler inside, so that's how we can let's sell that for the $219. So that is our coolers. Does anyone have any questions on that as we're going through? Is there anything else that you might want to know about with these first bags? If not, I will keep moving along, and feel free to add a question in at any time. While we're still on coolers, so that's our hard-sided cooler. And then we also have this one, which is more the universal cooler. This one here, it's similar in construction to on the inner panels of that. This is all waterproof. This is the TPU. It's got a harder bottom. It's formed bottom, so it sits nice. And the big mounting straps, of course, you get 2 on each side. Right? So there's 4 of those total. Again, we've got these just unclip here. And then you've got the T-handled zipper. Now inside of here, once again, this is the, if you look inside of there, this is really thick, excellent insulation. I've used these. We're going to talk about the Sandoval bag here in a few minutes, but I've used this bag on one of the Sandoval runs. He did the Great American Convoy. And I rode along with him for about 900 miles. And one of the days was 95 degrees. And I was on my personal bike, which burned oil like a sieve. And so I had oil in here, I had ice packs in here, and then I had cold drinks. And we left at 7 in the morning. And at 7 o'clock at night, when we landed here at Ciro, my drinks were still cold. And it was 95 degrees and sunny. And it was sitting out on the back seat of my bike the whole day. So it really is a fantastic cooler. I personally use this when I go on road trips in the car. And because it sits right in the back seat and you can open it up and just boom, right there, you got a nice cooler for that. These mount extremely easily. You've got these little side pieces here. So if you've got a rack on the back of your bike, maybe we could bring that image up there. We can see it. I think I've got it set up. If you have a rack in the back of your bike, this can wrap right around. Say this is the rack here. This will wrap right around like that. Snaps in, cinch it down. It's super tight. Indian motorcycles with the tour pack and the factory wrap, it just falls into place and snaps in. It works on Gold Wings. It works on the regular Harley racks, anyone that you have. Since it's a little softer, it conforms. So if you have a rack on anything, you'll be able to very easily mount this. It also comes with a shoulder strap. So the shoulder strap will then just clip on wherever you want it to clip on here. There's a few different options you have, and now you've got something, a way to carry this. So it's a nice soft shoulder pad here for it as well. A lot of people, including me, use this. I put this on actually underneath of the seat. So I'll mount this underneath of the passenger seat, okay? And then you can put the bag on the passenger seat just like that, clip it on and cinch it down, and now you've got a quick release bag on any bike. So that's a great way of doing it. And then you can just, a lot of bikes you can just slide this right through underneath and pops right out, and then you still have your strap. So um, lot of uses for this. Again, boating, we've had and this kind of came by a little bit of a surprise, but a lot of people are using them on canoes because it'll float, it's waterproof, and it's just a great way to carry your stuff. And again, it's an excellent bag. It's got a good amount of space inside of it. And this one, as we talk about cans, of how many you can put in there, this will hold up to 32 cans. But really, who's going to put 32 cans in there? The space of it, what was our spacing on that again? I think we were at 28 liters. So it's a pretty good sized bag. And again, it works just about anywhere. We've got on all of our DRYFORCE bags, the Ciro logo here is actually reflective. So it gives you a little piece of safety on the end. You're going to see some really cool green striping way around that we used. That's one of the reasons we did our custom colors. Number one, so you can see to the bottom of the bag, which when we get into the bigger bags we're about to show you, this is pretty important. But it also made for a really nice feature and has a really cool look to it. This one also has a pocket on the front side, and again, it's a good sized pocket. I mean, you can easily put any phone or whatever in there. Insurance cards, whatever you could use that, put it in a small pocket, gloves. So there's one on each side on this one, actually, as you can see, and they're both the same size, so it's great. And these are, of course, as I mentioned before, T-handles, which is important when you have the waterproof zippers, because a lot of times they're really difficult to move because they seal, and that seal with the T-handle makes it a lot easier to make sure that it gets a good seal. So with that, if anyone has any questions on that, go ahead and throw them in the chat. I'll be happy to come back to anything we talk about during this whole little presentation. If you're like, hey, what about this? Just go ahead and shoot a question in the chat, and we'll get to it. So next up, we're going to talk about the 60-liter roll top bag. This is our price leader. So this is an incredibly roomy bag. The idea behind this is inspired by nautical bags, army wet bags, dry bags. So what you have here, and I've got a lot of stuff in here that's as filler, so it'll get up, but this is wide open. So as you can see there, you can see almost to the bottom of that bag, and we're talking something it's damn near 3 feet tall. And then you just take it, and to make it waterproof, you're going to roll this down. You want to go one complete turn to make sure that you don't get the water in you, and push down on it a little bit, let some of the air out. And once you've got it there, you can tie it together. You can hook the top. Now it has this handy hook on top that you can also put, if you want to put an extra jacket or something, you've got enough room to do that. But you can cinch this all down. On the front of this one, you've got a large pocket. And this is very, very handy. You'll find all kinds of uses for this. Some of us that are old guys like me and still use maps, this is a great place to put them. Of course, your phones, that kind of thing. It's an excellent space. A lot of these pockets tend to be too small. We tried to make the pockets on all of ours flat, mostly watertight, and but big enough to actually use. So that's part of the thing. Also, the mounts. So we've got, this one comes with 2 shoulder straps, not just one, so you can mount it up. You can put it on its backpack. I like to take one shoulder strap, as I mentioned before, put it under the seat as a quick release mount, because you can mount it right to the bottom here. These mounts also, if you notice, they pivot. So no matter what direction you're going to be pulling on, you're not pulling it like offset to the mount, so it's going to rip. These are nice. And all of the bags, the reason how they can be waterproof is, like, these sewn on pieces don't actually go through the bag. These are sewn to a panel that's then welded on. So everything's welded, all the seams are welded, and it's melted together, so there's no water penetration anywhere. Again, like as with the rest of the bags, the Ciro logo is reflective, and it is super bright when you see it. I mean, you hit lights on it and it really reflects well. The roll top is nice because this whole thing will lay flat, and you can just fold it in half and put it in a saddle bag. You can put it in put it in your tour pack. It's just you can keep it right on the bike when it's empty, and it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. And with the TPU that we used, it's very, very rugged, so it'll take a lot of abuse. Again, if you're a person that does any outdoor camping, hunting, anything like that, I always tell people you can't take a hunting bag on your motorcycle, but these are designed to be a motorcycle bag that you could take hunting if you wanted to. Out in the woods, these are fantastic. Pouring rain. We've tested these. We've got lots of customer comments about them too, about just how great they've worked in being waterproof. But like I said, this is the price leader. This bag here, this whole 60-liter bag, comes in at $95.99 retail. So this is a great value without having to cut any corners. So again, 60-liter roll top. So I'm going to move into the duffel bags now. If you don't want a roll top tall one, this one actually is really nice to sit on the back seat of a bike. So like if you have a bagger with a tour pack in the back, you don't want to put anything up top, up high, you can put this, like if you don't have a passenger, it sits perfectly on that passenger seat. Then actually is a nice backrest for you too. So this is this is probably our top seller. I think this is the one this is our most popular bag. So I highly recommend it. I have two of them and I use them constantly. I keep one in the trunk of my car all of the time because I got an old car that leaks, and this one keeps it nice and it keeps everything nice and dry back there. So moving on, we're going to go to, we've got two duffel bags. This is the 60-liter duffel bag, which is very large, and our 40, which is also, let me put them one in front of the other. You can kind of see the difference here if I can get in front of the camera. There we go. So you can see it's a little bit shorter. It's 20 liters smaller than the 60. These are both roll tops as well, so they function in the same manner. Again, these come flat. They lay like almost totally flat. Just the thickness of the material is all that's in there. But these, because they're roll tops, they have a little different style. These have, again, they're green inside like this, but they have Velcro here to help you seal it because it's a little bit longer of a travel. Then again, you just roll that down, clamp it on, and you've got your waterproof bag. So we did some larger ones, these flat ones. These will fit on a rack. If you have a bigger bike, they fit on a rack. But they're you can put them vertically on a seat. You can put them down on a rack. This is the 60 is the big one. Of course, the 40 is a little bit smaller. This one works pretty good on a passenger seat. I've used that on my passenger seat, whether you mount it, sideways or the lengthwise. They work really well. Again, pockets in front, lots of buckles so we double buckled these so that the idea here is that if you want something to tie down on top, a lot of times you have a tent or a roll or bedroll or something, you want to tie that down. There's plenty of room to do that. These are fully adjustable. Also, on all of our DRYFORCE bags here, you'll notice this little loop right here. There's an elastic loop around every single one of the straps so that you can fold it, roll it up, and get it to sit in there so that you don't have a bunch of straps flapping all over the place going down the road. And because those damage the straps, they can damage your bike. It's just annoying. It doesn't look that good either. So this way, these all get nice and rolled up and stay nice and tidy for a long time. All of our bags have a 2-year warranty on them as well. So if you have any problems with manufacturing or anything like that, which we've had almost none of, this has been very good bags. We're really happy with these. They've been out for a few years now, so they've been tried and true and tested, and we thought it was time to come in and explain to you guys a little bit more about why you'd want to have these in your store. Again, pocket on the front, pocket on the back with the zippers. This one has a nice hard base to it too, so it has some structure to it, but it does lay down nice and flat. So again, all of these bags, they'll fit right back in your saddle bag, or whatever you want. And they do come with, again, they come with straps. There's one strap per each one of these. You'll have a shoulder strap that you can use also as a tie down strap. So with that, I think we can now move on to the next. If there are any questions, we can move on to the next bag. These are great all the way around bags too for everything. The 60-liter especially, I'll just mention this before I move on. sorry, is if you have one of the ATVs with the front rack on it, this is really perfect for that. And with these, the way that it has the clips on the bottom here, and these are all heavy duty, really, really nice, strong clips, and all of the nylon straps are very strong too. But you can just wrap this around just like that around your bar. So you can have really just two quick snaps, boom, and it's off your bike. So I've known guys that'll they'll put the 40 on the front and the 60 on the back, and then they've got, 100 liters of storage when they're going off road and doing what they want to do. You get to where you are, you get them all muddy, you hose them off, you put them on your Harley, and you go back home. It just works for everything. So I highly recommend these. They're great bags. I've got one of each too. I've got one of everything though, let's be honest. I really, really, really like this whole system. So with that, I'm going to move on now to, we talked about Adam Sandoval a little bit before and his long rides. And as we designed, manufactured, and tested these, he was one of the guys that rides a lot and rides in groups of people a lot. So we had him work with us to test a bunch of things to make sure it was right. He does the Great American Convoy, and 2 years ago, which would have been 2023 at the time of this taping, he went on a 27,000-mile journey in 3 months. So it was every single day he was going on. This is the one I mentioned before that I rode along with for a while. And he used the DRYFORCE bags. And we did it because we said, all right, tell us what's great with them. Tell them what's wrong with them. Tell them if they worked, if they didn't work. And he came back to us and said, he's like, they're fantastic. My stuff stayed dry. I was able to mount them down. This worked really, really well. In fact, he liked them so much he wanted to do his own bag. So we worked to develop this, which is the El Sandoval bag. And I'm going to get into all of the little details on that right now. Let me just get these two guys out of the way here. So he wanted a waterproof bag, but also had a lot of features to it. So the what his comments were with using some of the other DRYFORCE bags is like, boy, it'd be nice if we had this, or it'd be nice if there was this part of it or that part of it. So we took these ideas and worked. Darren, one of our other designers here, designed this bag. He did a phenomenal job. And working with Adam, we got to test as we went along too. So it's not just a plain bag that we just said, let's just throw a bunch of features at it. We said, let's really take this to a different level and come up with something completely new that no one's seen yet. So the idea of the tall roll top DRYFORCE fully waterproof bag is incorporated into here. But we did it in a way that you're actually getting two bags in one, because this outer shell has a bunch of features, which I'm going to walk you through. And but there's an inner shell too that I'll show you when I'm done showing you the rest of these parts. So I'm going to put this kind of over here, and I'm going to grab a bag to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So I've got this one. First of all, the size of it. This is a very large bag that also has an inner bag here. So this whole inner piece here, this is actually a dual-ended, all right, roll top bag. So when you roll this up, whether it's in the liner or outer liner, you have a waterproof bag. There's a handle on it, there's clips. This is more for just a carry-on bag. If you're going to mount it to the motorcycle, you'll need to have it inside of the sleeve here. But this is what's inside, and I wanted to show you the inner part of it too. So like I said, it's hollow right the way through. There we go. You can see the bright green inside, so that when you're reaching at the bottom of the bag, you can get something. So why is it open on both sides? That seems strange, right? Well, one of the things that Adam talked about is the way he travels. He packs things. He'll pack stuff on one end and stuff on the other end. And we've all been on a trip where we need to get something out of the bag and it's at the other end. You have to dig all the way down, or maybe you're in a parking lot and you don't want to dig through it. With the opening on both ends, you can get into either side. So like you can put all the stuff you're gonna need in the hotel on one end, and then the other end stuff that you don't need to worry about right then. But it's still all accessible. So with that, let me show you some of the other features here in the bag. As you can see, it opens on the bottom and the top. There's a handle on each end. So each end of the bag has a handle plus a handle on top. And we made them big enough so that if you've got thick gloves because you're riding in the cold, you can still grab onto these. There's also 14 attachment points, different ways to attach this to your motorcycle. So if you can't figure out how to get this on a motorcycle, I don't know what you're riding. But there's a lot of ways to attach this, and that was one of the things he said, because he rides a lot of different styles of bikes. Sometimes he's on a Harley, sometimes he'll be on an Indian, sometimes he was just in South America uh, on a off-road bike. So you need to be able to have the bike be a universally mountable, and because of that, it works fantastic for a lot of different things. If you've seen, um, he did another trip across country in I believe it was a 78 Trans Am that he did an old Route 66 tour, and he used this bag for his main bag. It works in airports, it works everywhere. It's an all-around great bag. So let's go into some of the features, as you can see on the screen there. And we'll start out with the front of it. We have your El Sandoval logo here. Well, these flaps open up. Let me get it over here so I'm a little better centered you guys can see what I'm talking about. These flaps open up and they have adjustable straps, as you can see here. I'm going to show you another little feature of the straps here as well. So each one of these straps has a Velcro keeper on it. So if you, again, so we don't have the flappingness, but this allows you, I can turn this towards the camera, you can see it, that much room. So if you want to put your a coat in there, rain gear, all that kind of stuff can fit right in there. Inside of the flap itself has pockets. So these are, and now this stuff is on the outside of the bag, guys. So this isn't inside of this little area right here, of course, isn't waterproof, but it's just a couple of mesh pockets for putting whatever. I keep a 10 millimeter wrench and some duct tape or something in there for the trip when needed. But this closes up. You can also put a laptop in here, which is handy for you commuter guys out there. And these simply just clip together, and then you can just tighten them up. And you've got a nice area to keep whatever you want safe. So again, this is a roll top style. So this rolls up, of course, and we gave it a lot of work. So if you only put a few things in there, you just roll it down a little bit further. So it's really adjustable to the size that you need. Also, in the back has backpack straps. So these straps fit right inside of a pocket here, and I can show you on the bag. That's actually does. So it's nice and clean, right? It looks good. But inside here, you can just pull these back straps right out, and then they clip down to one of the lower hooks down here, so it's clipped, and then it's not going to flow around. We've had customers that really enjoy these, because if they go ride them, especially on like adventure touring bikes, they'll take them off road. So they dismount it from the bike, unclip it from the bike, they pull out the backpack straps, throw it on, and they can go hiking for the day. Without having to use a different bag or a different anything. So again, all the hardware on here is really heavy duty. It's very, very, very well made. And I think you're really going to enjoy the versatility of this bag, because we haven't found anything else out there that even comes close to what you can do with this one. So with that, we'll roll around to the side here. We also have Molly right here. So if you've got accessories that you use in Molly, like the military Molly style of mounting, we've got 6 little pouches, we've got 6 Molly straps right here that allow you to put those things in there. So that works well. And then, as we're going around this side, oh, I almost forgot the front pocket. Of course, this has a front pocket on it here, like that. And again, this isn't it's not a waterproof pocket, but it's just a place you can store some stuff. This is where I put like extra gloves and things like that in there. And then, as I say, it lays flat, just like all of our other DRYFORCE bags. When you get it, and this is going to lay, we're going to take this one, had the backpack straps on, so we'll just pop those off. As I'm doing this, does anyone else have any other questions? Anything popping up? Okay, great. Hopefully that's because I'm telling you guys what you need to hear. So with these, I'm going to put that back in. I just want to show you how flat this actually lays. And I'm actually going to stack up the bag and the inner liner, just so you can see, this is put together. This is how flat it is. You know, this is nice and it's super, super small. When you fold it up, now you've got a nice small little flat, you know, bag that you can put anywhere. It doesn't take up a room in your closet. This is, you know, one of the nice things about the DRYFORCE line and this El Sandoval bag is that it doesn't take up a lot of space when you're not using it. So it just folds up. You can just put it in a cabinet if you want. You know, it sits on the floor in the back seat of a car real easy. It's just a very unique way of being able to carry a lot of stuff on a bag, and it's stylish. So now you still have to mount it, right? We haven't talked about straps. We've talked about mounting points. We've talked about all that kind of thing. But I've got the El Sandoval bag over on our Street Glide over here. So we're going to switch over and again, I give you an idea of what your options are there. So I'll come over here. All right, so here's our El Sandoval bag. It's mounted to the backrest of our Street Glide. And I think, yeah, it's a 2018. So, you know, most Harleys, but this is pretty typical of back straps that would be on any motorcycle that you have a backrest. So, as I mentioned before, a lot of the bags come with the shoulder strap, right? Well, that's one option. But we also have the lash strap kit. So we made these specifically to work with our bags. So it has a clip in the middle, right? And it's got loops on the end like this. So what you'll do is you'll put this through where you want to put it through. Just loop that in like this, you know, clip it together, and it's good to go. So to show you what it looks like on the bike, here it is right here. So right there, each one's looped through on each side of the bag. You just clip it together. I do another one up here and bring it around back. But, you know, that way you don't have to redo it every single time. You just unclip it and boom, you're ready to go. You want to get back on the bike and get rolling again? Just put it back on, clip it together, cinch it up. And again, it has the nice Velcro keepers right here, so you can roll that right up tight so that it doesn't flap around on you. And that is our lash strap kit. The kit comes with 2 straps. So as I showed you here, oops, I dropped one. So it comes with 2 of these, as you see in the picture there. We'll walk back around. And it's $19.99 for the set. These are really strong. They're 1.5 inch wide vinyl and really heavy duty plastic clips here. I mean, you can really put a lot of tension and it takes a lot of stress. We wanted to make sure we kind of scoured the earth to make sure we could get the right clips that were going to stand up and be strong. So with that, I guess that's our basic line of bags, our El Sandoval bag. We've got coolers. To recap on everything you can do, there's a bag for everybody here. You can do carry just about anything you can think of that you would use on a motorcycle, but there's so many other uses. So what we're hoping here is that you look at this and you will have seen what this can do. And if you do any outdoor sports of any sort, you know, again, this is just a great line of bags that you can pick the one that works best for you. So with that, if anyone has any questions, I think we're well wrapped up. So I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for watching. Um, if you have any questions about it, you can give us a call here at Ciro or go to Ciro3D.com and you can email us right from there. Go to any of our social media. If you do have questions on how to install anything, go to Ciro3D YouTube page that you're watching this on right now. We have instructional videos. We've got features and benefits videos, and any questions, of course, you can always call us. We do have one question. Yes. So the DRYFORCE line is available through Ciro or Drag Specialties. That's a good point. And the El Sandoval bag is in the cooler bag, or not the cooler bag, the El Sandoval bag, sorry, and the quick release bag are available through Ciro. So you can go to Ciro3D.com, or if you go to dragspecialties.com and type in DRYFORCE, these will all also pop up and you can see it there. So with that, again, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And go to Ciro3D.com, check out the stuff we have there, and go watch our videos on how to install if you have questions. And if you're dealers out there, of course, you're watching, this is just a little side note. On all of our products, on the instructions that we put on there, we also put how much time it takes to install. And the install time is based on the average guy doing it in his garage. And so if you're installing a bunch of products and trying to figure out how do I build this, how do we figure this out, we do have those times based right on there on each page in the instruction section. So it'll tell you just how long it takes to install that. So just a little thing we did. Some of the guys here actually worked at dealers, and that's one of the things they said is like it's nice to do that for you guys to help you out. And we're trying to send people to you. So if you have questions, we also have displays. We've got all kinds of different stuff that assists you in selling the product and make it easier for you and your customer. So with that, again, I'm Ken Madden with Ciro. Thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you next time.